We tend to treat weight loss like a test of character. The cultural baseline is that if you want to lose weight, you simply need to endure hunger through sheer mental discipline. When someone gains a massive amount of weight, society generally assumes it's a result of gluttony, laziness, or a lack of self-control. But in 1998, medical researchers documented the case of a 3-year-old child who weighed 100 pounds. The immediate public and medical assumption was that this was a case of severe parental neglect. Observers thought the parents simply weren't enforcing any behavioral control over the child's nonstop eating. When geneticists looked closer, they found a single mutation in the child's DNA. This extreme eating was driven by a biological mandate rather than a lack of discipline. This mutation meant the child's body was physically unable to produce a critical hormone called leptin. If a missing hormone can drive unstoppable eating, the idea that diet culture can rely solely on willpower starts to fall apart. Leptin is your internal fuel gauge. Fat cells send a continuous signal saying, "We are safe." But if you produce zero leptin, like the 1998 toddler, that communication line is cut. The blinded brain views this silence as starvation and shifts into a starvation panic. You most likely don't have that rare genetic mutation, but if you've ever tried an aggressive diet, you have likely experienced this same biological response. When you force yourself into an extremely restrictive protocol, like an 800-calorie crash diet, your fat cells are forced to shrink at an unnatural, rapid speed. As those fat cells shrink, the amount of leptin in your system drops in tandem. The volume on that safety signal to your brain begins to plummet. By attempting a crash diet, you are accidentally simulating the biological markers of a famine. You are telling your brain that your energy stores are disappearing. The brain's first defense against this perceived starvation is to hijack your conscious mind and force you to seek out calories. This chart shows how hormones react. As leptin plummets, the brain floods your system with ghrelin, skyrocketing past normal thresholds to create intense hunger. Meanwhile, your resting metabolism drops sharply. Your brain is actively suppressing your calorie burn to hoard whatever energy is left. This changes your behavior. You stop fidgeting. You take elevators instead of stairs. You feel lethargic because your body is powering down non-essential movement to conserve fuel. This creates a scenario where mental discipline has to fight a direct uphill battle against survival systems that have been refined over millions of years. Your conscious goal to lose weight is effectively pitted against evolutionary survival software designed specifically to keep you alive during a famine. The solution requires a shift in tactics. You'd have to stop treating your body like an enemy that needs to be conquered. This chart shows 3 energy states. Fat loss requires a deficit, but the goal is the moderate zone, avoiding the crash diet panic zone. This safely draws on stored fat, keeping leptin above the threshold so starvation alarms stay quiet. To maintain this state comfortably, the evidence points toward a specific focus: high protein intake. Dietary protein helps preserve metabolically active muscle tissue, ensuring that the weight loss is biased toward fat stores. Protein also naturally suppresses the production of ghrelin in your stomach. It helps keep you satiated, which prevents intense hunger cravings from forming in the first place. Finally, the biological process of digesting protein is complex enough that your body burns a significant portion of those calories just breaking the food down. You can safely bypass the survival alarms. By feeding the body enough to keep leptin stable and prioritizing protein, you replace the burden of willpower with a strategy that works with your biology.